she said in a deep voice. "What's wrong with them?" He jerked his thumb at Phobos and Alara. Her eyes shifted to the couple. They were tangled around each other for support as their unsuccessfully stifled laughter echoed in the confines of the space. Atlas's room was larger than most, him being the Commander General's son, but it was still a rectangular and windowless underground bunker, with a sink, mirror, and single bed. "I just told a joke," Romy lied. "Oh?" "Yeah. Please don't ask me what it is. I'm never funny on purpose." They stared at each other in silence, and Romy's heart sank as the quiet extended. There was this tiny thing with Thrym where they were technically programmed to want each other. It didn't affect Romy anymore because, well, she'd gone a bit mental for a while. Her mind had obliterated the nano-programming and controls placed inside her by the Mandate. Thrym, on the other hand, hadn't gone mental. The urge for him to engage in coitus with Romy was still very much there, and very one-sided. For a long time he hadn't believed his feelings were fabricated by his nanos, and she strongly suspected he didn't now, though he'd hidden his feelings since they'd made a friendship pact a month ago. It hurt Romy that he hurt inside. Thrym was a member of her knot, and that meant he was her family. She didn't want him to be sad. That was why she sprinkled crumbs on herself and burped. It had to help, right? "I got my injection," he said, holding out his arm. Thrym was the last member of her knot to get the insanity cure. Romy asked, "Charlie said everything was normal?" When Houston betrayed the Amath and took the insanity cure with him, he hadn't counted on Dr. Charlie switching files on him, or that she'd be able to replicate the cure. "As normal as Alara and Phobos," Thrym announced. His sky-blue eyes were piercing against his dark skin. Thrym was wide-shouldered, narrow-waisted, 6 foot, and everything a space soldier should be. He wore the same thing everyone here wore, dark blue coveralls with the word Amath embroidered over the heart. But when Thrym wore it, he gave the impression the uniform meant more. Thrym had high standards, and expected everyone to strive for the same level. He'd always been ambitious, and sometimes that made him act like a jerk, but his heart was always in the right place underneath, and he wasn't allowed to act like a jerk for long, before Knot 27 slapped him back to normal. He spoke again. "I should be able to kill humans now without, Phobos had recovered, but stayed tangled up with Alara on the floor. "Buying a one-way ticket to a padded cell?" He was answered with a faintly reproving expression from Thrym. Romy belched again and scratched her butt. "Charlie will be happy the shot worked." So was she. Now all of her knotmates were protected against the insanity trigger inserted in their nanos by the Mandate. "Happy is an understatement," Thrym said, selecting a cracker. "She burst into joyful tears when I didn't put the Raz in crazy," Alara piped up. Romy scrunched her nose. "I don't think that one works. Raz and crazy sound different." "It works if I say it works," Alara scowled. Romy offered an indulgent smile and let her feisty sister have the win. "We would have been in a pickle if Charlie hadn't been able to replicate Houston's work," Phobos said. They trailed into silence. The quiet in the room deepened, and an almost tangible sorrow thrummed in the room. Alara sighed heavily. "I wish Who wants to play another round?" Romy asked loudly. The others blinked at her. Heat crept up her neck again. "I do," she announced, equally as loud. No way was she thinking about the ex-member of their knot. Traitorous meteor face, degenerate piece of poacher poop that he was. Deimos. She gritted her teeth, rolled over and knocked the plate of crackers aside, sending them scattering. Romy picked up the twigs. "Who wants a twig?" She glared at her knotmates. "I said, who wants a twig?" Thrym started and quickly took a twig. Alara gave her a sad look with puppy-dog hazel eyes. Phobos avoided her gaze completely, but took a twig.